Hello everybody. So since the last video, there has been this enormous surge of cases of people infected with the new epidemic known as coronavirus, also known as COVID-19. Now, a lot has changed so fast within this amount of time. It's developed and it's spread, and not only is it a cause for concern with your health, but it has become a cause of concern for mental health as well. So I know a lot of the protocols and regulations are demanding that everybody stay indoors, or that everybody stay home, or stay safe, or self-isolate, or self-quarantine. And while I know that that is something that we're not typically used to, even an introverted individual is not used to it. Like, I myself, for example, I'm pretty introverted by nature, and I don't like to go out. So I take a lot of solace in my alone time and doing activities around the house. But given the reason why I have to stay home, it feels, anxiety inducing. There's a lot that changes quickly, a lot of parts of my life are on hold right now. And there are days where I'm handling it a little bit more positively than others. But then there are some days where it's really heavy. The uncertainty kind of buries you a little bit or overwhelms you because you don't know what to expect from this. It's not an outside circumstance that you can just, push under the rug or find an immediate solution to. It's something that is literally out of all of our hands right now, and something that none of us were able to predict coming. And so for most of you who actually do suffer from anxiety, depression, or overall, you have never experienced these issues but are trying to adapt to this new lifestyle. It's tough. I know it can be tough for everybody from every walk of life and every type of social structure. So this video, I would like to console you all and, reach out, because this is a really big time in history right now. As a matter of fact, it's a really big time that is globally felt. It's not just an experience that is biased. This is something that actually has no boundaries and no biases. Anybody's vulnerable to it. But I know that the uncertainty of it, the panic of it, the isolation of it can probably trigger a few things for you. So I know right now there are people facing a lot of their own demons right now. You're probably used to distracting yourself with things outside, which most of us do, whether it be going to the gym or going to work every day or socializing with a certain group of people or just doing any sort of outdoor activity that calls for you to leave the house. All of a sudden, you don't have access to that. So it's a little tough to cope with, and you are sitting with yourself, you're sitting with your thoughts, your feelings, your trauma possibly. And I apologize if it's very rough for you to uncover all of that, but just know that you're going to get through it. This is an opportunity to be able to channel in and kind of take that leap of faith inside. Take a little bit of take 5 to be able to figure out who you are, what you want, to be able to figure out what you like in life, get to know yourself again, because sometimes with the hustle and bustle of everything in life, it gets a little bit demanding, and there's no time to slow down. And right now it's like an immediate standstill. So rather than, and it kind of links back to the other things I've talked about, rather than focusing on the negative thoughts or focusing on that void, try to take this time to focus on the opportunity within it. While the opportunities are not external and are not connected to the external world right now, they can be connected to your internal world and your internal dialogue. So right now, take the chance to maybe pick up a hobby, or pick back up a hobby, or rediscover a hobby. It can be anything. Get to that task that you've been putting in the back burner for a while. Get to know what you have around your house or your living space. If you are quarantining with other individuals, family members, friends, pets, take time to get to know them, and take the time to, be able to console them to your pets as well, because I know pets are always there for us. And if you have one and you are like really good buddies with them, right now is a good chance to be able to strengthen that bond. It can be a chance to strengthen any bond, really. And my heart pours out to all of you who don't have that secure home right now, to all of you that are, stuck in broken homes, are facing any sort of abuse or neglect. And I really hope that you're able to cope through this and see through this, and know that I was reading a couple articles because it is something to be concerned about. There's no big escape for people to go to right now, but what you can do, there's still resources. All of those services are still out there. So if you are in a situation where there's domestic violence, there's neglect, there's child abuse going on right now, or there's some sort of abandonment and unsafe conditions to live in, those services are still available to help those who are stuck in that situation right now as the virus kind of dwindles out. So just know that, and take the time to really allow all of this to not get the best of you, because it is also very possible for this to go the other direction where you start losing your mind a little bit. You may become more anxious because you're not sure what's going to happen. You're not sure how things are going to turn out in the future, or how long this is going to take to dwindle out. And if someone suffers depression or any other serious psychological issue, it can get a little bit aggravated. So just try to keep your balance and try to keep yourself grounded amongst all of this. Try not to let those rampant thoughts and the uncertainty of the situation get the better of you, because it's very easy for that to happen right now. And the last thing you need to worry about is you being in danger to yourself. So try your best to be able to get back to that. Try your best to keep your sanity, and call hotline numbers if you need to. There are crisis hotline numbers available still right now. So if you're facing some sort of dilemma or a crisis, those numbers are available, and I'll provide that phone number in my description, as a matter of fact, and even pin it into the comments, so that way you can access it if you or someone you know desperately needs someone to talk to, or some sort of advice or help. Another thing is, your routine has been shaken up. So right now is the opportunity to try to fill up that time to do something productive, to try to do something that will give you positive feedback, that will feed your soul. You can simply think of another time of day to wake up at, if you're used to waking up at that same time every day for work, school, or whatever it may be. Try to give yourself a little schedule regardless. Maybe wake up at the same time or around the same time. Try to do an exercise, meditate. Meditating is very helpful right now. It helps calm you down, and there are certain meditations that are kind of perfect for this specific issue. You can find them all throughout YouTube. And you can take the time to eat that healthy food right now. Fruits and veggies, from what I know, at least in my perspective at grocery stores, are still there. So try your best to be able to, access that, cook a new recipe, play an instrument, read some books, catch up on a few movies that you've been adding onto your watch list for Netflix or for Hulu, and try your best to be able to maintain that right now. Explore. Take the time to explore right now. That way you can let this experience catalyze a positive outcome, more so than feed into the fear that is already there. And another thing is try to stay away from the news, although it is very informative. The news can be very informative. It helps keep you up to date with what's going on. There definitely are, as this thing is progressing and updating, there are many numbers around, many risks. Just all of that is kind of thrown at your face constantly as you're watching the news. So try to stay away from that. Keep yourself informed, but to a healthy amount to where it doesn't overly consume you and drain you and overwhelm you with fear, because that can be a lot for any individual to process, on top of the fact that they're already processing this giant change in their lives. So try to do that, try to veer away from that and fill that time with something that makes you feel good. Watching something that makes you feel better, gets you in a good mood, a good place. I mean, for me, it's like a bunch of John Hughes movies from the 80s, or comedy movies, or even music. Take the time to explore music. And when was the last time you gave yourself a chance to actually look for new music? Try to do that right now, or explore another region of music that you've never thought that you would like or listen to. The possibilities are endless. While there's such a big void right now, you can either see it as a void, as loneliness, isolation, uncertainty, or you can transform your perspective into one of seeing opportunity, openings, pastime, and an opportunity for growth. This can really bring out your character. It can really define who you are. And I remember, I forgot which philosopher said it, but there was a philosopher who was well known to say that adversity is what reveals the character of a human being to themselves. So right now, try to see what your character is responding as right now. So try to nourish that character and strengthen it, because this is what's going to be in the forefront for you right now during this crisis. This is what's going to step up to the plate and step up to the role that you needed to be in right now. And it can be very helpful to try to integrate that every day. Get up in the morning. It may be tough if you are not employed right now, or if your school is postponed. Just try to get up and push yourself to get up. The best way to do it is, I mean, obviously there isn't a set agenda for the day that need to be met by an external source, but do it for yourself. Think about showing up for yourself. You have to get yourself through this. You have to be strong for yourself and for your loved ones and for your future and for what's going to become a memory. We're all going to look back at this, and it's going to be a memory that we can look back on as a time that was tough, yes, but that we also persevered through. So when you get up in the morning, just push yourself to get up. Just tell yourself, just put your right foot on the floor and put your left foot on the floor. Okay, set little tiny goals throughout the day to keep yourself motivated, to keep yourself going, because it's so easy for us to spiral down at this time. So just set yourself little goals. Just tell yourself, okay, just make your bed today. If you just make your bed today, you'll already be one step ahead. So try to make your bed and then take it little by little. Okay, let me go to the restroom. I just need to brush my teeth now. Brush your teeth. Okay, let me go wash my face. Okay, wash your face. Okay, let me think of something else to do. Maybe I could read that book. Okay, I can read my book while I let my coffee or tea brew right now. So that can be very helpful. Just set yourself a bunch of tiny goals. Break it down into a lot of small, attainable goals. Things that you can do, things that don't seem so hard to do if you can't find that motivation. Those little incremental steps are what going to get you into a good place. They're going to start setting you healthier habits, and they're going to start putting you in a good place for the day, in a good mood for the day. And I mean, it also helps to take into account if that this is something very unpredictable. This can happen to anybody, and I hope that it doesn't happen to any of you or any of your loved ones and affects it in a very negative way. So I just try to put it into a bigger spectrum instead of seeing it as, oh goodness, like this can happen to anybody at any time right now, and start freaking out. Just kind of keep that thought in the back of your head, but as a catalyst to help you appreciate and live right now. Because I think it's moments like this where everything's shooken up. I mean, the concept of society isn't the way it is anymore. The concept of money isn't the same anymore. Like, it's not a constant ever-flowing thing. Businesses are a livelihood right now. So because of that, because of how fragile the situation is making everything seem, how fragile life itself can be at moments, instead of cowering in fear with it, which can be very possible, and it's very valid to feel fearful, but try to pull yourself out of that hole and instead see yourself as, okay, this life is so fragile. Let me make the most of it right now. What can I do right now that will add to my livelihood? Even if it's quarantining, I know it's very restricting, it's very frustrating to not be able to do what you normally do, or just even have that freedom or that choice to do what you want to do, but change it up. Instead of saying I'm stuck, try to tell yourself I'm being safe. I am being safe, and I'm doing my part to contribute to lessening the spread of this virus right now. I'm doing my best to make sure that this doesn't get out of control, that I don't get exposed, that my loved ones don't get exposed, and that this can maybe stop in its tracks and dwindle out a little bit more in a faster pace. So just constantly changing that narrative of doom into opportunity and the possibilities that lie within it right now. Nourish your habits, nourish yourself, try to feed yourself healthy habits, explore good things, keep yourself occupied, reach out to your loved ones. The beauty of it is that we have social media, we have a lot of technological advances right now that allow us the ability to stay connected even when we're not there with whoever we love. So reach out to your loved ones, talk to them constantly, keep an eye on them, make sure that their well-being is good too, that their mental health is good too. And of course, people in really dire situations, reach out to those services still. They will still serve you. They still have to serve you because of the fact that it is a more crucial hour right now. It's a more crucial period of our time right now to be facing this. So just do your best to stay safe, to stay well, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally right now. And I want to now address the physical things that you need to do with this. It's very important for us to, of course, and they say to wash your hands for at least 20 seconds and to get into every single crevice that there is. Do not touch your face, especially when you're out in public. Do not touch your face. Be very wary of surface areas too, because a couple articles say that it is spread through water droplets and sneezes or coughs, or even talking, because when we talk, there's water vapor coming out of us. So do your best to wear gloves if you have gloves, or just keep them out of your face, keep them away from your nose, your mouth, your eyes, keep them away from everything right now. What else? Wear a mask. I know there's a lot of mixed messages about a mask, but I feel like it at least provides a second defense, a second level of defense, whereas the first one would be your hands and gloves. The second level of defense is definitely going to be your mouth. Make sure that you're not touching your mouth or your nose where it gets into your trachea, it gets into your throat, it can get to your lungs. Just try your best to not have any sort of transmission of any of that. Also, here's a thing that hasn't been emphasized enough. It's barely being spread out there, but I feel the need to tell you too. Do not bring your shoes inside after you're out there. Take your shoes off outside, wash your hands, and if you have a cleaning product or something, spray your shoes with that, especially the bottom of the soles with it. But of course, constantly making sure that there's a barrier between you and the contaminated or possibly contaminated things that you have taken to the outside world. So make sure that you don't bring your shoes inside, because that can be spread easily. People spit on the floor, people sneeze, and then if it stays in the air for 3 hours, as studies say and suggest, it eventually lands on the floor. So do that. Shower often, change out of your clothes as soon as possible. Do not touch your face. I can't stress that enough. Wash your hands as many times as possible. If you are out of disinfectant spray, the DIY one that can work, which I haven't seen a shortage of this in stores, is mix 3/4 of distilled water, which are in the gallons at grocery stores, or you can just boil water and let it cool down. So 3/4 of the distilled water and 1/4 cup of vinegar, white vinegar, 7 droplets of tea tree oil, and 7 droplets of lavender oil. Mix it all together in a spray bottle, and that will give you a DIY disinfectant spray. Another thing that can work, hand sanitizer. I'm sorry I'm throwing all this at you, but I want you all to be as safe as possible. Hand sanitizer, mix rubbing alcohol, like maybe about half of rubbing alcohol, and aloe vera gel, and just mix it up, and it'll cleanse your hands, it'll disinfect your hands, and also not dry them out with the aloe vera gel. So there are so many alternatives out there. Try to seek them, try to seek any DIY things that you can use to protect yourself out there. Keep that social distance up. I know it's a little tough to not be able to get outside of your home or be able to walk freely and constantly being vigilant about your health and your mannerisms, but just get through this. Take this as an opportunity to help yourself grow. Take this as an opportunity to heal and realize that you are doing a big contribution by doing this. Just remember that all of the sacrifice is going to cause results. It's going to cause positive results, and you're going to look back at this as a memory. So I hope you all are doing well. I'll try to check in again with another video, maybe about another topic matter. But in the meantime, play this video as many times as you need to. Share it to any loved ones who are having a tougher time to adapt. And of course, reach out to any of the resources I put in the caption below. And take care of your mental health, okay? I hope to discuss this with you later. Upload a video that, oh great, we found a cure, there's a vaccine, it's ended, and watch, that will happen. We're gonna look back at this as a memory. So take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, and have a good mental health day. Thank you.